Jayson Ness of Minnesota, Stephen Dwyer of Nebraska, and Lance Palmer of Ohio State. And we'll just open up for questions right away.
Lance, obviously you're coming off your biggest win of your college career. Most people expect you're going to face him again. You think ahead, how do you prevent that? And if you do face Metcalf again, does your game plan change at all?
Well, I'm not really thinking ahead. I'm thinking of the first match of the tournament. So, I mean, it's hard not to think ahead, but you have to take it one match at a time, obviously. If we are to face again in the finals, my style won't change at all. I'd wrestle him the same every time. It's just small things each time changing till, you know, to break the habits that I've made the past matches.
What happened last match that succeeded? You said your stylus hasn't changed. Why were you able to succeed last match that you had the previous ones?
Just wrestling harder the entire match and no mental breaks. I mean, he got in on my leg early in the match, and that was a mental break. But other than that, I wrestled solid the entire match and didn't stop until the last whistle.
Jayson, you've been close before, knocking on the door to winning this thing. I mean, what's it going to take this time around?
Just got to wrestle my style. Just make sure that I do all the little things right, and just kind of wrestle hard every single time. And I don't know, there's not much difference. It's just getting it done this time. That's pretty much all there is to it.
How different is it being a senior? I mean, this is your last opportunity.
You don't want to think of it as different being your last tournament. You just got to approach it just like all the other tournaments I've ever gone to, just like all the other matches I've wrestled. You know, just got to focus on wrestling 7 minutes, wrestling 7 minutes hard, and just, you know, focus on that one match.
Jayson, what have you learned from the past 3 times that can make the difference this year?
I've learned that mentally, it's the biggest thing is the mental challenge. We've trained our bodies the whole year. We've wrestled matches all year long, and now it's just making sure that we're focused. We're, you know, not concentrating on anything else, not looking ahead. We're looking at each match and getting ready to wrestle each guy.
Troy, your health is always what's brought up for you. What is your health status right now, if you give a percentage? The fact that you've only wrestled, you know, less than 20 matches this year, has it been helped that you haven't had to wrestle as much? How much has your game plan changed this year for you?
My health is definitely similar to last year. Not great. Luckily, I've already been through this entire situation before last year, and this year it was a lot easier to train, knowing what I had to do and how I could get through those things that were preventing me from doing things that I had done in the past. Going into this tournament, I'm just looking to wrestle hard for 7 minutes, 5 times, and putting together 5 perfect matches. And you know, I think if I do that, then it shouldn't be a problem.
How much mat wrestling did you do at Cornell in the wrestling room? You know,
yeah, I was probably on the mats 3, maybe 4 times a week. You know, hitting the pavement a lot, getting a lot of mileage in, making sure my conditioning was where it had to be, making sure my weight was under control. Yeah, you know, just getting on the mats, doing what I had to do, making sure my technique was sharp, and that was about it.
Jake, do you feel similar or the same to how you entered the tournament last year, or are there any differences in terms of how you feel this time?
Not really. I guess it can be the same. You know, I seeded #1 my sophomore year, and last year #2. I guess it really doesn't matter where you're seeding in this tournament. Anything can happen. You know, you just take it one match at a time, one step at a time, and wherever you're at, you know, you just take it for what it's worth.
Jake, the one thing about you for this year, you've changed coaches. Could you talk about the difference in training with Cal to training with Kevin?
I don't know, I guess I would say going from one Olympic gold medalist to another. You know, I've been fortunate to have that, to pick from both their brains. Obviously, they're a little different style, but they have a lot of similarities too. So, you know, it's just someone else to learn from, and really see how they train, how they did things, how they wrestled. I'm just kind of being like a sponge and trying to soak up as much as I can.
You had mentioned differences. Could you name a couple differences?
I mean, I guess the difference is not necessarily their philosophies, but they're different styles. Jackson's a lot more, his powerful stuff. I'm not saying Kale's not powerful, but it's just different styles out there is what I probably point out the most.
Jake, could you talk about the experience of going to the World Championships last year and how that may have helped you as a wrestler this year coming back to college?
Wrestling that tournament is really one of my first wrestling cross seas before wrestling those guys. It kind of takes you to a different level, kind of see where you're at. They don't wrestle folk style. It's all freestyle over there, but wrestling's wrestling, and you just go over there and kind of test your skills. And I didn't finish where I wanted to, but you see where you need to work on, and I just feel like it brought me to a different level.
Steven, you feel moving up a weight, you feel any different coming in this tournament? You feel fresher after a whole season?
I feel better at 174 than I did at 165. I feel I have more energy, I have more go, and an advantage for me has been, instead of coming into a tournament worried about getting my weight down, I'm more able to concentrate on wrestling the whole time and improving my my technique instead of concentrating on cutting the weight. So,
wrestling here at home. Talk a little bit about just down the road from Lincoln, competing in Omaha.
I think it's nice not to have to travel, but the tournament's going to be the same regardless of where it is. I hope we have a good turnout for Husker fans. I think that would be nice, and I'm looking forward to this tournament. But as far as where it's located, I think it's nice, but I'm not really dwelling on that. Oh yeah, it's at home. So.
Any more questions?
Jayson, I want to just talk to you about your style. You're known as a pinner. When you went into Minnesota, did you always figure you'd have that reputation? How has it been easy to sustain it, or has it been difficult?
It hasn't been easy, but it hasn't been difficult. It's a challenge to pin anybody, especially when you get to the Division I level. But that's kind of been my philosophy my whole life. Is when I wrestle a guy, my goal is to pin him. All throughout high school, that's the way I wrestled, and I wanted to just carry that over when I got to college. So I just kind of trained and kept working on the same moves, and it's worked out well for me.
The fact that you have a reputation as a pinner, you figure guys would shut down. Do you find that you have to do tricks or anything, or is it just simply domination?
You force your will on them. When you get on top, you have a lot of different setups, lots of different things to use. So you just kind of work on it the whole time. You just keep working and working until you break them, and just force your will on them, like I said.
Troy, could you talk a little bit about the Cornell team? You guys bring some pretty high-ranked wrestlers into the tournament again this year, and what kind of goals do you have as a team leader and one of the athletes that are going to be being very important to the team performance out here?
I feel our team is coming in pretty strong. We've wrestled real well towards the end of the year here. Again, we're coming in with a lot of high seeds and a lot of potential All-Americans. Last year, I believe we were very close. It was unfortunate that we lost Mac real early in the tournament last year. This year, I believe everybody's healthy, and I think we're going to be a real title threat. Hopefully we can get 3 or 4 guys in the finals, and that should put the pressure on a lot of other teams right there. I really believe we can come away with 8 All-Americans, which is how many guys we brought, and if we do that, I think we're going to be right there in the running.
What would it mean for an Ivy League school to win the NCAAs as a team? I know you went there for a lot of reasons, but you guys have come into the tournament the last 2 years with a real shot at it.
Yeah, it's definitely encouraging to not be able to give athletic scholarships and to be able to be in the hunt for a national title. It's one of the things our coaches, make us believe in, and now we use it as a recruiting tool, and people see that we are a perennial powerhouse, and hopefully, this year or if not in the very near future, we do get that first national title. You know, our coaching staff is great. They do a lot of great things for us, and you know, they're the ones that really deserve the credit for bringing that team to the level it's at.
Why is Kyle Dake having such a special year for as a rookie, and what recommendations do you give him as he faces his first NCAA?
Yeah, Kyle's he's always been a competitor. I don't think anybody in Ithaca really expected anything less than him. I know I certainly didn't. I've worked out with him over the past couple of years. Him being Ithaca native, and he's a great athlete and a great wrestler. I really don't expect anything less than him to come in and win it. He is a freshman, and over the past couple of weeks, my role with Kyle has been giving him a lot of advice on my freshman year, how I came into the tournament, and hopefully some of the mistakes that I thought I made, trying to help him avoid those.
And what was that advice?
Really staying focused throughout the entire tournament, not letting the atmosphere get to you, taking one match at a time, going in, making sure you got your weight under control, and just wrestling hard for 7 full minutes.
Steven, what's your philosophy coming into this weekend?
I trained really hard for this. It's going to be, I know some people up here have said, they don't really think too much about it being their last tournament, but for me, I've kind of realized that this is my last chance to fulfill something that I've never done for myself, and I'm just really looking forward to it, and I know I'm ready, so I'm just going to see what happens.
Jayson, Minnesota's won a title while you've been there, and kind of makes you different from the other guys up there. And even though the old cliche is you worry about yourself in this tournament, the team stuff takes care of itself, how much difference does it make when the team is in the hunt?
When the team's in the hunt, it makes a big difference. Just everybody's spirits are a little bit higher, and everyone's got a little something extra to work for. So when you're out there wrestling, you're not just wrestling for yourself, you're wrestling for the whole team. All the bonus points you can get are very important every time you're out there wrestling. Every point counts. So it makes a big difference. Just kind of team-wise, everyone gives a little bit extra effort. But like you said, it is that old cliche where right now it's all about you and just getting it done yourself.
Jake, any added pressure because of your international experience and you wrestle for Iowa State?
I don't think so. It's another tournament. Nobody's won it yet, so everyone's here competing the same. Everything that's happened in the past, that's the past. You can't. That has no factor now. So I really don't feel any added pressure. It's just one match at a time is what I'm looking at, and I'm looking forward to my first match tomorrow.
Jake, last year you beat Presser in the finals. He was 1, you were 2. This year you're 1, he's 2. Think he's maybe gunning for you a little bit?
I really don't know. One of the questions before, you're looking at the guy you're going to wrestle in the finals. If you're worried about who you're going to wrestle in the finals, you're probably not going to make the finals. Everyone's probably gunning for everybody, in my opinion. Just worry about that first match, really.
Lance, Ohio State's been second 2 straight years. What's the team's perspective coming in this year? Do you guys feel that you have an opportunity to possibly win this thing or be one of the top few teams as a group again?
Our thoughts as a team are that we're supposed to win. We've taken second the past 2 years, and our standard now is to be national champs as a team and have 3 or 4 national champions individually this year. So like everybody else has said, and I think that's a philosophy of every team, is everybody does their job individually, and then the team standings will show up on their own. So that's one of the philosophies we have this year, is each guy does their own job and exceed their expectations, and we'll win it as a team.
But obviously the team has done very well at the last event of the year, the NCAAs. Is there anything that as a group you guys do that helps you to be able to peak when it really counts?
I think it's just the mentality. We come together as a team really well towards the end of every year, and we do our job individually, and the team thing comes, but I think it's because of our teamwork together and just the relationships we have with each other and with the coaches.
Lance, a lot of people are still picking Metcalf to win it, even though you beat him. I mean, are you feeding off that at all? I know you can't really look ahead, but do you feed off that at all?
I don't really feed off of that because that's something for Saturday night. I have to focus on Thursday morning. But every other tournament that I've been in with Metcalf, he's been predicted to win it, you know. So you can't really look at it as what people think. You just have to go out and do your job each match.
Any more questions? Okay, thanks, fellas. We'll have the coaches back at 2:30. Anyone that's interested in talking to Nebraska's Craig Brester is going to be outside